What's up, everybody? I know I've been gone for a while, but I'm back now, and that's what matters. We're gonna be talking about the new Seth Rogen movie, Dumb Money. It's pretty good. I would suggest you go see it because these are the type of movies that we really need to support. So support them. I'm gonna be throwing out some major spoilers, so, you know, just be ready for that. Okay, here we go. First of all, this is the type of movie that we need to support. This is a movie with fantastic acting, a great script, a true, fantastic story that can be told, and of course, a story of the little guy versus the unstoppable corporation.
$11 million.
Let's get into it. First of all, Paul Dano is amazing in this movie. There's a thing now where I kind of see him as Steven Spielberg's dad every time I see him, but you know, it's fine.
I want you to make a camping trip movie.
Seth Rogen always does a great Seth Rogen. There's a lot of other really talented actors. You have Shailene Woodley, you have Vincent D'Onofrio, Nick Offerman,
Ron Swanson.
Pete Davidson.
Brother is a nerd.
This movie recounts that situation that happened with GameStop where people started to buy the stock to squeeze a short that a large corporation was having on it. I'm not gonna get too far into the nitty-gritty of all of this, but I will just, you know, explain a little bit. Seth Rogen is in his mansion. Wait, hold on. This isn't just his mansion, this is the mansion he bought next door to his mansion so that he can build a tennis court so that his kids don't have to go play tennis somewhere else. I mean, come on, you're gonna have to go play tennis down the street? What are you talking about? He gets a call from Vincent D'Onofrio telling him that everything has just gone horrible and you need to log on now.
You should probably dial in.
And that's whenever we zoom back a couple months, right? And that's whenever we first meet our titular hero, Keith Gill, also known online as Roaring Kitty, which I remember that name. I think a lot of us can remember that name. He's sitting with a friend and he's basically said that he bought $52,000 worth of stock in GameStop. If, I don't know, I'm a gamer, some of y'all might be gamers as well. GameStop is still a near and dear place to me. I still go to GameStop, but every time you're in GameStop, you normally feel like this place is just barely hanging on. You know what I mean? You're like, oh man. I mean, you feel it whenever you go in there. Like, comment down below, you know, what GameStop makes you feel inside. And sometimes it's warm and fuzzy, sometimes it's pretty sad. So $52,000 in stock. The reason why he bought this is because he looked at all of the market trends and he realized that these large corporations, the Seth Rogens, the Vincent D'Onofrios, and the Nick Offermans, are shorting the stock. So they are betting against GameStop, that GameStop will eventually go under and then they will make a bunch of money.
Wall Street is betting that this company is gonna fail. And if it fails, these hedge fund people make a ton of money.
So he decided to use his online presence to kind of try to manipulate in a legal way. All of this is legal, keep in mind. As shady as a lot of it sounds, it's all legal. What he does is he always shares his portfolio every single day, and he also tells everyone to buy this stock because if you look, this is gonna happen. If we all buy this stock, it will go up and we will all make a lot of money. So he buys $52,000. Everyone thinks he's crazy, absolutely thinks he's crazy, but he sits there, Roaring Kitty gets online with his red headband and his kitty t-shirts, and he tells people every chance he gets to buy this stock.
Yo, what up, everybody? Roaring Kitty here. I'm gonna pick a stock and talk about why I think it's interesting, and that stock is GameStop.
People start buying the stock. People that work at GameStop, people that are trying to just make it, and they start buying the stock. And all of these people buy into what Roaring Kitty is selling. Now, there's this tiny little thing that you need to know for this story, and that is Robinhood, the app. Robinhood is an app that a lot of us used. I used it, I still have friends that use it. Literally while I was watching this movie, my friend leaned over and said, hey, I need to take my money out of Robinhood. But anyway, so you find out that Robinhood is an app that allows people to basically play penny stocks. And for younger people that have a little bit of income, but not enough to like buy into the big stocks, but you can buy into the little ones. So you can make these micro stock transactions and it's free. And Robinhood always tells you that it's free. It's free, free, free. The transaction part is free. You have to buy the stock, but the transaction to buy it is free. And then when questioned about why it's free, they give shady answers about how they're growing and they're big. Sebastian Sands is always great in pretty much everything he does. Either way, so Sebastian Sands is always telling people that it's free, so everyone uses the Robinhood app to buy the stock in GameStop. So they're squeezing the short that the hedge fund has put on the stock, which now will cause the stock to go up, which they're betting for it to go down. Now, somebody in this situation has to lose money. As people start buying the stock, Seth Rogen's money starts going down. He loses $2 billion in 2 days. Now, I don't feel bad for the billionaire, but still, that must have been a rough 2 days. Seth Rogen is telling his wife, and so his wife says, you know, kind of like, we gotta do something about it. She seems like a very strong woman, which is kind of cool. He kind of seems like a weasel. So what he does is he gets all of his rich friends involved, and they freeze the buying option on the Robinhood app. Now they've done something illegal. This is obstruction of the free market. This is obstruction of commerce, and it's also the manipulation of the market. Keep in mind, people have already made hundreds of thousands, if not millions. I believe at this point in the movie, they're saying that Roaring Kitty is up to $22 million from his initial $52,000 investment. Other people are up 100,000. Person that put in 120 bucks is now up like $170,000.
Holy moly!
This is really affecting the little guy more, as these billionaires are just staying billionaires, which is really messed up. And they all get subpoenaed, right? Well, makes sense, they all get subpoenaed. And when he's in front of the Senate, it's during COVID, so he's video called in, he's zoomed in. I mean, we all had to do that kind of stuff, maybe not in front of the Senate, but we all had to zoom from home for important meetings. And he basically says like that this was unfair, that they are manipulating the market, and that the fact that he's even being questioned right now is kind of showing you that you're protecting the big guy and you're not protecting the little guy. Whenever they question the owner of Robinhood, they say, wait, are these transactions actually free? And he goes, yes, they're completely free. And he goes, well, how do you make money?
But if removing the revenues that you make from a payment for order flow would cause the removal of free commissions, doesn't that mean that trading on Robinhood isn't actually free to begin with?
So we find out that Nick Offerman's character, this other billionaire, has been paying the microtransactions so that this can be free. But it was never free. It was actually all in the interest of these hedge funds, and it would also push people to buy certain stocks by putting them on the homepage and things like that. So Robinhood was just doing a lot of really shady things.
I believe that the decisions made by you and this company have harmed your customers.
Nick Offerman's character gets asked if his company had anything to do with the halting of the buying option of the GameStop stock.
I want to be perfectly clear. We had no role in Robinhood's decision to limit trading in GameStop or any of the other meme stocks.
Whenever he says no, they reveal to him that we already know that you have everything to do with that.
Explain to me why that's not manipulating the stock.
We're back to Roaring Kitty, and Roaring Kitty says that I like the stock, I'd buy the stock, I'm not selling the stock. If you do anything to me, you're protecting this billionaire, and then you're telling the American public that if you're smart enough, that if you're capable enough, that you cannot use the American system to make your fortune, which is the American dream, the American promise, the whole thing, that if you can play this system right, you're supposed to be able to become wealthy, or wealthy in whatever way you choose. Find out that he's up over $40 million, and Roaring Kitty goes back to being just a dad and a regular guy. And to this day, I don't think that he's done very much stuff besides, speak on a few things about the stock market. But since then, he's just become just a regular guy, set back with his millions. Other people held on to the stock still to this day and have lost money. So keep in mind, if y'all ever think that this is a good idea, getting in at the right time is just as important as getting out at the right time. Okay guys, so what we're gonna start doing is I'm gonna give y'all one movie every video to watch that I've seen that I think that you should watch. I'm not saying that you haven't seen it, maybe you haven't, and maybe it will take you to higher places in your movie watching experience. This week's movie is called The Wall. It's got John Cena and Aaron Taylor Johnson in it. It's one of those brilliant movies with only 3 characters. It's sadistic, it's suspenseful, it's great. It's on Amazon for free. Check it out, and I will see you next week. Bam.